How did your dad lose his custody rights? My dad was the fun parent. While my mom worried about bedtimes and vegetables, dad let me stay up late eating ice cream and watching movies. Every other weekend at his apartment was like a mini vacation. He had this cool bachelor pad with a giant TV and zero rules. We'd order pizza at midnight and play video games until sunrise. All my friends thought he was the coolest dad ever. Your dad is awesome, my friend Tyler would say. My dad makes me do chores and homework. Dad always had money for fun stuff. Go-kart racing, arcade games, expensive toys I wanted. He'd buy me designer shoes that cost more than my mom spent on groceries for a week. When I asked where he got all this money, he'd wink and say, "Daddy's got connections, buddy." I was 12 when things started getting weird. Dad picked me up 3 hours late from school one Friday. He seemed jittery and kept checking his rearview mirror while driving. "Everything okay, Dad?" "Just some work drama, sport, nothing to worry about." That weekend, we went to this fancy restaurant downtown. Dad paid the bill with a huge roll of cash, all hundreds. The waiter looked suspicious, but Dad just smiled and left a massive tip. Later that night, I woke up to voices in the living room. Dad was talking to these two guys I'd never seen before. They looked angry. "You better have our money by Tuesday or there's gonna be problems." Dad saw me peeking around the corner. "Go back to bed, son." Adult stuff. The next few visits got stranger. Dad would get phone calls and suddenly we'd have to leave wherever we were. He started carrying this black duffel bag everywhere. One Saturday morning, I was playing on his computer when I accidentally opened his email. There were messages about deliveries and packages and meeting people at weird hours. "Close that right now," Dad snapped, grabbing the laptop. "That's private business stuff." I started noticing police cars in our neighborhood more often. Dad would tense up every time he saw one. The end came on a random Thursday. I was at school when the principal called me to the office. My mom was there with tears in her eyes. "Your father's been arrested," she said quietly. I found out later that Dad wasn't in import business like he always claimed. He was selling drugs. All that money, the fancy dinners, the expensive gifts, it all came from dealing cocaine and pills. The FBI had been watching him for months. They arrested him during a big drug bust with like 30 other people. They found drugs, guns, and $50,000 cash in his apartment. In court, the judge said Dad was unfit to parent and a danger to the child's welfare. He lost all custody rights immediately. Mom explained that Dad had been using his weekends with me as cover. Who's gonna suspect a guy hanging out with his 12-year-old son? The worst part was realizing I'd been his perfect disguise. All those fun weekends, all those toys and treats, I was just helping him look normal while he sold drugs. He's been in federal prison for 6 years now. Sometimes he writes me letters saying he's sorry and that he's changed, that he just wanted to give me nice things. But I can't forget that I was part of his lie, even if I didn't know it. My mom says when I turn 18, I can decide if I want to see him again. Honestly, I don't know if I ever will.